is he's saying to these little shepherds, he's saying to them, you know, there's a real clear contrast here with me and the bread that I'm offering you and the manna that your ancestors ate back in the desert. Verse 49 says this, your ancestors ate that food from God in the wilderness, and it was good for a while. Some of them lived up to almost the whole 40 years, but do you know what? Every single one of them is dead. Every single one of them is dead. And you know what? Sometimes God does that for us. God gives us all sorts of wonderful gifts and blessings in this life. He gives us talents, He gives us families, He gives us schooling, education, which jobs, material resources. He gives us even moral commands, which are good in helping us to have successful, happy lives, right? All sorts of wonderful things God gives us. But in the end, each of those things, other than the ultimate bread of life, is insufficient to do what we ultimately need. It's insufficient to do what we ultimately need. And so what matters most in the end is not what we collected in this earth, or whether we had love or affection from family members, whether we had good relationships, or whether we had everything right. None of those things don't matter. But what matters most is what happens on the day when the resurrected Son of God returns, just like He says He's going to do, and whether He says to us or whether He doesn't say to us that the promises I made to you in John 6, that it's the last day and you are going to be risen with me, actually are accumulated to us or not. What matters in the end is whether Jesus comes and He says to you and to me, arise, you are mine, you are in my Father's hand, I am raising you up, this is the last day, and you will live with me forever. Or whether Jesus' word to us is, you have been my enemies, you have received the just and due penalty for your errors. You've chosen to live life without me, you've chosen to feast on all sorts of other things, accept me as your Lord and your Savior, and so you're getting exactly what you want, which is not me forever.